the School Management Committee, teachers, ancillary staff, divisional education officers, district education officers, ladies and gentlemen, Nisambula Vinaka, a very good morning to each one of you. This is my first school where I will be witnessing the special education services that's being delivered, and particularly the kind of resources that you use and the way the classrooms are set out. I chose this school purely because I wanted to see the challenges teachers face when they are teaching special children. So some understanding in that area is what I need so that I can assist schools with special needs in a much better way. As you know, the government is committed to education sector, and over the years you have seen the way the budget announcements were made, where a large sum of money has been put across to the education sector, and in the last budget about $420 million was set aside. The other changes that came about where we strongly believe that all children needs to be included in every school that we have. There should not be any discrimination where we do not allow special children to attend the mainstream schools. So that has been a major change, and you may have also noticed that besides free education grant, there is a certain sum of money available for special schools. So, and at this juncture, I want to thank the non-government organization, faith-based organization, as well as the donor agencies that are partnering with the government as well as with the school management committee to expand this school and to make this school much better for our special children. So I thank them most sincerely for their assistance. Ladies and gentlemen, I also like to thank the founders, past and present members of the school management team, who have shown a lot of dedication. They have committed their time, they have committed their resources as well, and the guidance in developing this school to what it is today. It started as a very basic, humble, with a humble beginning, but we can see that the school is now classified as one of the largest special school we have in Fiji, with 155 roll number. So, and we hope that we can make this school one of the best school in terms of resources and equipments, plus the building facilities and so forth, so that other special schools can learn from this model school. And that would be our intention to how we can grow this school to that level. One area that I do want to mention, that we don't have special teachers who specialized, they are not specialized in special education. There is acute shortage of teachers in special education. So those students who want to join teaching fraternity and they want to take up teaching job, most of them are aware that we do have abundance of teachers, but there are certain areas where there is teacher shortages. And I would say that special education is one such area where we need specialized teachers. We also need specialized teachers in ECE. We don't have specialized teachers in ECE. In fact, we have only 2% qualified ECE teachers in Fiji. When I say qualified, it means they have a degree. The others have a certificate or a diploma in ECE. And similarly, same applies to special education. So there is job availability in this area, and I'm encouraging other graduates can move into this area, new area that is ECE in special education, or the young ones who are joining teacher training institution or universities, they can also pursue their qualification in these two areas. Besides that, ladies and gentlemen, I sincerely want to thank the teachers, listening from the head teacher, the amount of work you've been doing behind the scene. You've been working tirelessly, keeping the learnings going. You have opted for other modes of teaching, that is online platform. You've been preparing your weekly study packages. So you kept the teaching and learning process going while there were lockdowns and there were a lot of uncertainty regarding COVID-19. But you continued that process, to which we all appreciate the hard work that you have put in. COVID-19 has not been easy for any one of us, and it's been a very difficult situation for individuals, for students, for parents, as well as for the business community. COVID-19 had a huge impact on our lives and livelihoods, but you can see there are some signs of positivity now, and the positivity is simply there because of a high vaccination rate. We are encouraging parents, students, teachers who are not vaccinated to please get vaccinated. There are some teachers who are not vaccinated, and they have written to us and told us that they will not get vaccinated, and we accept that. There are some teachers who had their first jab, but they're yet to take the second jab. We will not terminate their contract. We have given them time till this week to complete the second jab. So these are some of the steps we are taking to encourage teachers who are uncertain whether they should get vaccinated after getting the first jab, because we will definitely terminate contracts if the teachers do not take the second jab. And teachers, because the schools are not open yet for years 1 to year 11, for that reason we have given some time for teachers to get vaccinated. As of 10th of November, the attendance rate for years 12 and 13 is much better as compared to the first day. On the first day, the attendance was around 68%, but today the attendance is around 85 to 89%. The only division which is showing poor attendance is the Eastern Division. And we are working with the head of schools to find out more about the students and where these students are. So once we establish that, we'll be able to talk to the students and see how we can get them back into the classroom. Teachers, you still have a very difficult task ahead of you. I know that you have been working around the clock, but once the children come back to school environment, because they are out of touch in terms of their normal routine, and some children, they're at home, they're not, they're playful, they're not probably doing how much they were doing in the classroom setting. So in that situation, they will need a lot more guidance from the teachers so that they can get into the routine and they can start focusing on their studies. And I'm sure you'll be able to do that very easily. Students are attached to their teachers and they listen to the teachers, so you are in an advantage position, in a better position to guide these students and get them back into the school environment. Now, some of you may be wondering, when are we taking the break? Are we taking the break, or the school is going to continue as it is? You will be taking a break, and I will be announcing the dates very shortly, along with the reopening of schools. Every day we are getting new data on COVID-19, and these are all scientific data. As you know, schools have reopened in many parts of the world, and we are trying to learn from those schools. UNICEF and other members of our cluster group, they continuously provide advice to the ministry, and we work very closely with Ministry of Health. So we've been talking about the reopening of school. In fact, on Monday I had a meeting with the Minister of Health as well as the Permanent Secretary for Health regarding school reopening. So there will be slight changes to the initial plan. I often hear people talk or make comments that why there is no plan, or where is the plan. This is uncertainty we're talking about. The plan will keep on changing. It will keep on changing. It's not a normal year where you publish the dates and it appears on an annual calendar and everybody knows when the school will open, when it will close, when the exams will be held. This is an abnormal situation and we are living in new normal. And in this situation we have to take very cautious steps, because at the end of the day we're talking about our children, and our children got to be safe. So for that reason we have a plan, we have got the dates, but we keep on talking to the Ministry of Health and our cluster group for guidance before we can open the school. Definitely the schools will not open this year. The initial date was January 4th, so we will be considering an opening date for next year. For this year, you know that the borders open on December 1st, and today inter-island shipping will start in Fiji, and that will give us ample time for us to study the increase or decrease of COVID-19, how it spreads. And also do note that 12-year-olds can get their vaccination, and their vaccination will be rolled out on 15th of this month, which is next week. So that means our 12-year and above will get vaccinated. So we're increasing the vaccination number within our student population, and teachers are already vaccinated, as ancillary staff are vaccinated. So we're creating a safe environment for teachers and students. So we're taking all these factors into consideration before we announce a date for teachers who will be taking their leave and the time when the school will start. Again, it's not going to be a situation where all teachers can take leave at once. There will be a staggered leave for teachers. Some teachers will go on leave now, some will take leave a little later, as we keep preparing the school for COVID-19, based on COVID-19 protocol. And do note, we still have years 12 and 13 in school, and they're studying, and they'll be studying till 23rd of December. So they need to be looked after, and of course teachers got to be in the classroom to teach them. So it is for this reason that we will be using a staggered approach. So finally, ladies and gentlemen, once again I pay my deepest respect to the founders and the past and present members of the School Management Committee for their foresight, for their vision in establishing a special school for our special children. And I also thank our teachers for the good work they have been doing. And our battle is not over. We don't know when COVID-19 will come to an end. It will never come to an end. Now, looking at the European situation, they're going through the third wave, and the numbers are increasing every day. So we don't know in which situation we are, and I do request each one of you to please understand the current situation. It's not easy to make decisions in such situation. That's why when we talk about COVID-19, we talk about uncertainties. There's nothing certain about COVID-19. We don't know which turn it will take. We don't know whether a new variant will come in. We have seen new variants have been emerging, but Delta was the worst variant, and we don't know what can be the next worst variant. So with so much of uncertainty, I seek your understanding, and as a ministry, we all look forward to working with this school, and wherever possible, we'll be able to assist you. We will step in to do that. So thank you very much. Vinaka Vakalevu. Dhanyavad.